better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave.
But she gets around us. You better thank a union member, sucker. Cause this time, you heard me? I walks it like I talks it. Ain't that right, Quavo?
Imagine, right? Imagine if she was to go to the Indian community, right? Or speak to the Indian community and put on an Indian accent. Hello, how are you doing today? We are like, how offensive would that be? But yet, when you come around the African American community in southern areas, you want to put on a southern accent. Both parties do this. Both parties do this. We've had President Trump come out, right, with a little pump, and he had Lil Pump endorsing. Does Lil Pump look like a qualified individual to follow as far as politics? Like, we're supposed to take Lil Pump's opinions as serious as we're supposed to consider Lil Pump's opinions as far as his endorsement of something. Like, why is it that the African American community continues to get disrespected like this? Somebody help me understand. Why is it that we continuously allow this moronic display? For me, I take great offense. And if I was a Democrat, I would be extremely critical of Kamala Harris, regardless of whether I was a Democrat. Same thing if I was, a Republican, I'd have an issue with what Trump is doing. Why is it that when the black community, it's time to kind of, speak to the black community's needs or address the black community, all of a sudden it's rappers being brought up? It's rappers being brought up. You had the streamer Aiden Ross talking about Young Thug's trial to Donald Trump during his stream. You had the whole, President Trump, when he was president at the time, pardoning Kodak Black. And the Democrats are just as guilty, bringing out, Megan Thee Stallion to twerk at a rally. How is this acceptable? Are we a joke? Are we actually a joke to you people? They don't even try to connect with us on a policy level, on a historical level. They're trying to connect to us through entertainment, rappers, people who spend a good amount of their time promoting degeneracy and complete garbage and pollution in our own communities and profiting off of it. While children who follow these rappers, who follow these artists, end up in the very same predicament as the rappers themselves, but with far less the benefits. Far less of the benefits. They're broke, they're poor, they come from broken homes, they barely have parents, barely have attorney fees, barely have money to support themselves while in jail. And yet somehow, the people in our community, whether it's the youth or, we also endorse these rappers, bro. How is that possible? And then these politicians who are supposed to be these, they care about the people, and they come through that same system of foolishness. They weasel their way through the community for acceptance by bringing these props. That's what these people are now. They're props. They're props. Artists have become props for political agendas now. I look like I care about Megan Thee Stallion. Do I look like I care about Lil Pump? At a certain point in time, I think we have to also change. We have to change. We have to change. This whole tribalist system of I will always be a Democrat and anybody who votes, they're stripping you of your power away. And that is why you have people like Joe Biden, who could sit there and question an individual's blackness because they choose not to vote for him. You don't own us. Like, you don't own us. We're a free-thinking people. And if we choose not to align ourselves with you, that's fine. You're not the end-all, be-all, Mr. Crime Bill, Mr. Drug Act. Like, the way these politicians just play with the lives of people and manipulate, it's so disgusting. And it's part of the reason why the younger generations, they're losing faith in the system. They're losing faith in politics in both parties. There's a growing number of students who identify as independents. Because the previous generations may have had a reason to be like, you know what, we're going to be Democrats because, you know, the Civil Rights Act and all this other stuff. I get it. But at what point do we stop looking at just the past and start looking at today? The present. What are you presently displaying in front of me? What are you presently portraying in terms of our community? How do your policies reflect our community? And I hate the Democrats who hop on, right? And they come around talking like rolling on, yapping all quick. I want to demonize other people who feel a sense of like, who feel like they have to question the Democratic Party. That is it's your duty to question them. You have to apply due diligence in whoever you follow. Whether it's the company you keep or the leadership you elect. You must question them and you have to stand firm. Otherwise, people will just play with you how they play with us. We don't need no celebrity props. There are kids dying in Chicago. Kids dying in New York. 14-year-olds. But yeah, no, let's bring Megan Thee Stallion to twerk. Give a free concert. It has to stop, man. It has to stop. But it gets worse. This is just to further highlight what I'm talking about. It gets worse. Because we have stuff like this, right? Where Kamala Harris can come out, make a speech,
Thank
right?
unions for sick leave. Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time. Thank unions.
And then when she's at a different location, right? In Detroit.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Like, what is up with this accent?
Because what we know.
Like, it's so unbelievably offensive. But the Democrats or Kamala Harris's administration has no concept. It's just like, oh, what can we do to make them think that we understand? Like, imagine, right? Imagine if she was to go to the Indian community, right? Or speak to the Indian community and put on an Indian accent. Hello, how are you doing today? We are like, how offensive would that be? But yet, when you come around the African-American community, in southern areas, you want to put on a southern accent. This is not a show of solidarity. This is a show of disrespect. This is why people are fed up with the Democratic Party. We literally were saying from the start, there were people, even I myself, despite the fact that I don't align with either party, you can see Joe Biden's mental decline. It was so obvious. But no, the Democrats were sitting there, oh no, he's sharp as ever. You know, they were saying, no, he's good, he's competent, he's capable of still leading the nation for another 4 years, this and the third. And then what happened? They shot themselves in the foot. And quite the contrary, even helped Trump boost his numbers. Because it was also clear like there was a difference in their cognitive ability. And I'm not saying this to insult Joe Biden. I have no skin in the game. I'm just saying the Democratic Party has this constant, almost authoritarian view. Like they believe people are just supposed to follow them. If they could just demonize the other side enough, then people would just follow them. No, it doesn't work that way. And people were right. Joe Biden was not fit to be a president for the 2024 campaign. He wasn't fit. People were right. So all these political pundits and all these commentators and newscasts and anchors on TV that were saying, "Oh no, he's fine. Oh, he's fantastic. He's better than I've ever seen him." So you were just blatantly lying then. Is that what you were just lying? Because we've seen in the debate what happened. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. This is a problem on both sides. This is an American issue, not even just a Republican or Democratic issue. People have to start calling these politicians out. It has to happen. Otherwise, things are not going to change. We have to stop allowing them to just divide us, and use us like this, separate us like this. The divide, the polarization has gotten so bad. I remember you would have just straight up fist fights. Oh, he's a Trump supporter. Since when was that okay? Not every Trump supporter is a racist. And not every Democrat or every Kamala Harris supporter is an ally. People have to disassociate from these parties because they have gotten far too deluded and far too entitled. And it has to stop, man. And until people realize it, until they start making the votes count, we're gonna keep having these issues. Mark my word. We are not gonna get taken seriously. We're not. Like, look at this.
Descendants of, but in the area of reparations for descendants of Africans enslaved. If you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that bill.
But then at the same time,
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
this isn't even just like I'm trying to pick on Kamala Harris. The Republicans do the same thing too. I don't know if you guys remember, during the 2016 election when President Trump was going against Hillary Clinton, he was, after the DNC email leaks got released, he was advocating for her to go to jail. He was. Hillary for prison. I remember even seeing the signs all over the place. You know, when you're driving down the road, you see certain signs advocating for Hillary to go to prison. Yes, in fact. Right? So there's no... Because I got receipts. I'm pulling out all the receipts.
After getting the subpoena, you delete 33,000 emails. And then you acid wash them, or bleach them, as you would say, a very expensive process. So we're going to get a special prosecutor, and we're going to look into it, because you know what? People have been, their lives have been destroyed for doing 1/5 of what you've done. And it's a disgrace. And honestly, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Secretary Clinton, I want to follow up on that. I'm going to let you talk about email.
Because everything he just said is absolutely false, but I'm not surprised.
No, it is not false. It is not false.
Debate,
And we
in the
really,
first
the
debate,
audience needs to calm down
I
here.
told people that it would be impossible to be fact-checking Donald all the time. I'd never get to talk about anything I want to do and how we're going to really make lives better for people. So once again, go to HillaryClinton.com. We have literally Trump. You can fact check him in real time. Last time at the first debate, we had millions of people fact checking. So I expect we'll have millions more fact checking because, you know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
If I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation, because there has never been so many lies, so much deception. There has never been anything like it. And we're going to have a special prosecutor. When I speak, I go out and speak. The people of this country are furious. In my opinion, the people that have been long-term workers at the FBI are furious. There has never been anything like this, where emails and you get a subpoena, and after getting the subpoena, you delete 33,000 emails.
Over the place, and it's a very bad precedent is being set in many ways, including the weaponization of our government. You know, I could have done that with Hillary Clinton. And I said to myself, how would it look? We're trying to unify the country. How would it look if I had arrested and put in prison the wife of the President of the United States? I thought it was not good. And then they do that to me. They want to put me away.
Like Donald Trump says he wants. And President-elect Donald Trump says he wants to move on from years of investigations of Bill and Hillary Clinton. He says prosecuting the Clintons would be very, very divisive for the country. He says he doesn't want to hurt the Clintons, adding that he doesn't think his supporters will be disappointed once he explains what, as he says, quote, we in many ways will save our country. Trump's advisor says he's sending a signal to congressional Republicans to abandon years of investigations into Hillary Clinton.
There you have it. There you have it. When that was a strong point for him during the campaign, he was pushing for it. I'm going to jail him. I'm going to jail him.
And President-elect.
And then what happened? He was saying he's going to jail her. She should be in jail. He's going to prosecute with his attorney general, this and the third. And then he won and decided to go against it. This is what I mean by they constantly say one thing and do the other. It's a constant thing, and it's so tiring. It's ridiculous. Which is why I say you have to be an active voter. I'm not going to give you a vote just because you make a bunch of promises. What's your track record like, you know? What have you done so far? What are the policies, concrete policies? Like we've seen even just now with Kamala, like, she says one thing, and then in this recent campaign, she said she would sign the reparation bill, and then when you look a little back further behind, a couple of years ago, she was saying, oh, she's not going to do anything specifically for the black community, and what are you doing? What are you doing? This is almost as ridiculous as how she was saying she was listening to Tupac in '89. Come on, man. It's a sick game, bro, and that's why it's turning so many people away. And this is not what a democracy should be like. It should be people of integrity, okay, not special interest group, you know, having the majority of attention when it comes to policies. Like, okay, we get it, they fund you, and even that whole thing needs to be looked at and reformatted, because the whole we the people thing sometimes doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it at all. When a special interest group can come and dictate, you know, the next several years in terms of policies, because they're the ones picking the picking candidates, so they're the ones who are funding the candidates. Like, there are times when they would even fund a particular candidate just to ruin another candidate so that his policies don't go forward, because his policies may be detrimental to the special interest group. It happens. Let's hear what Cube has to say.
The process. You don't vote just to vote. You vote because you're getting something, or your community is getting something. So everybody that's telling you that, man, look at them and say, what are you getting? Because people that just want you to vote and not ask for nothing, people that's in power that want you to vote, but don't want you to get anything or not asking for you to get anything economically, they suspect. Straight up. Because a lot of people been in place for a long time and we ain't got shit. That shit gonna end. That shit gonna end. We gonna get what we supposed to get. Period. And anybody asking you not to ask, I wouldn't listen to them. Because that's the process. Every community asks for what they want. And we gonna do the same goddamn thing. Anybody telling you that you gotta vote, that it's your duty, that you have to exercise the right, and that people died for you to vote. For one, people did die, but nobody walked out their house to go die for you to vote. They were killed by probably some racists that don't want to see us get anything. Be skeptical of anybody telling you to vote and not telling you to ask for anything, or to tell you to just vote and not to get anything for your vote. That's not how it works.
He's got a point. He's got a point. And until we're able to change things, man, I don't see us going anywhere. I don't see us going anywhere, man. Our efforts have to be channeled. Our efforts have to be coordinated and executed with extreme precision in order for us to get anywhere. And so far, we're just disorganized, man. When you got people telling you you're not black if you don't vote for me, how insulting is that? I mean, the Democrats gotta do better. They only have themselves to blame if you have, younger people, which I've seen, because I was out there canvassing, getting people to register to vote, and there are a couple young people in the African American community who just feel like, screw it, like I'm voting for Trump. That's at their discretion. I'm not gonna judge them, but that's kind of the direction some people are moving in. When you've had people on your side for decades and you haven't produced anything of quality. I mean, even when we had an African American president, it didn't feel like we got anything out of that. Historic moment, yes indeed, but sometimes you just need these tangible things to really help people feel like, things are changing. Otherwise, it just feels like we're stagnant. Like, people could bring up, the Civil Rights Act. Man, that was a while ago. That's when we were exposed to all sorts of inhumane conditions and treatments. The anti-lynching bill, all that stuff. Like, but we live in a new age now. Like, we just cannot sit here and feel satisfied because of something that was done for us, like in the 60s, like 64 and so forth, like, because there were other bills that were passed after that were detrimental to the African American community. So what are you going to do to rectify that? Mass incarceration, all these other issues. What are you going to do? Prison population, school to prison pipeline. Are we just supposed to sit back and say, oh, but we did get the civil rights? That was human rights. You had people that are fighting and dying for this country but can't vote when they come home. Like, yeah, come on. So this is why I think politics has it's a dirty game. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that'll be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, comment, share the video, hit the notification bell. Again, it helps out tremendously. Forever in your debt, thank you all, and I hope you appreciate the content. It's always a pleasure for me. It's always a pleasure for me to make content for you guys. I always just try to push, for us to engage and to talk. That's the most important thing. Feedback. If you disagree or agree with something I've said, please feel free to express yourself. It's extremely important. I look to learn from you guys just as much as I hope to kind of share and share with you guys what I know, and so that we could just kind of reciprocate and engage in healthy discussions. With that being said, yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and feel free to reach out if you guys have any questions in regards to certain topics, or maybe want to veer me a certain direction about a particular video or a particular topic. Feel free. Anything is game. So again, thank you guys for everything.